LatinTrails is pleased to be bringing you this webinar today. We're here to talk about Anaconda Cruise, a combination between Amazon wildlife and luxury. And we're also going to be talking about some of the other amazing experiences that can be put together with this cruise. So we are joined by a full team of staff members from LatinTrails, and we're going to start by speaking with Santiago. Welcome, Santiago.
Thank you very much, Lee. So, hi to everyone and welcome to this lovely webinar. We will be talking about the Anaconda Amazon Cruise presented by LatinTrails marketing team. So we would like to introduce and explain the updated features of the Anaconda Cruise as well as the services you can get on board. But first, I would like to talk about a little bit of Ecuador. Ecuador is located on the northwest side of South America. The weather in Ecuador varies according to the region, so you will find tropical weather along the coast, becoming cooler at the highlands and volcanic elevations, and tropical again in the Amazon lowlands. So as I told you before, we will be talking about the Anaconda Amazon Cruise that is located in the Amazon region of Ecuador. The Anaconda Amazon Cruise began sailing in 2013, and it's considered by far a luxury ship and one of the safest in the Ecuadorian Amazon rainforest. The feeling on board brings you a personal experience of elegance and comfort in harmony with the ecosystem in the Amazon jungle. This riverboat is classified as a luxury river cruise. During the sailing, there are a bunch of day and night leisure activities on board developed by the crew for guests' entertainment. So, I want to talk a little bit the Anaconda Cruise. It was built in 2013. The port of embarkation is Coca, Ecuador in the Amazon region, and it was launched in September 2013. It has a capacity for 40 guests, and it has also some additional items. So these additional items are for passengers' safety and entertainment. I'm talking about the launch boats, fiberglass boats, and a canoe for 40 passengers. So right now, I'm going to let my co-worker Francisco to continue with the presentation. He will be talking about more in detail of the Anaconda Amazon Cruise. So welcome, Francisco, to this webinar.
Thank you, Santiago. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Francisco Sotomayor, Marketing Coordinator on behalf of LatinTrails. And right now I would like to talk about the ship's company or crew. It's important to let you know that the ship's crew is made of 25 staff members. And among them, we have available 1 paramedic, 4 English-speaking naturalist guides that will help you with the translation, and also 4 native guides that will help us move around the expeditions and the rainforest. 1 captain and 1 concierge. It's also important to let you know that the ship has a capacity of 18 suites altogether, divided in 4 deluxe suites and 14 standard suites. Now, the ship has 4 levels divided in lower deck, which is the first level, main deck, which is the second level, upper deck, which is the third level, and finally the sun deck, which is the last level. Right now, we are looking at the main deck, which is the second level of the ship. And at this level, we have allocated most of the double cabins and single cabins. So here's a picture of a double cabin located at the main deck of the ship. And as you can see, the features of the cabins, well, you will have, are provided the cabins with bathroom, shower, toilet, a sink, cabinet, hair dryer, basket toiletries, and in hot weather available 24 hours per day. This is another picture of a single cabin. As you can see, they keep the same standard colors with the difference of the bed size. Now we go on to another single cabin, but at this time we also can see the shower and the toilet. As you can see, it's a modern shower. Now this is the first level of the ship, which is called the lower deck. At this level you will find the reception desk along with the lobby and the dining room. So this is a picture of the reception. As you can see, it's provided with a modern sofa. And this is the lobby next to the reception. Here also you will see these spiral stairs that will take you to the main floor, main deck, where, as I said before, are all the standard suites allocated. Here you have a picture of the dining room. As you can see, it's a modern dining room area, and is sort of fancy with the silver and nice cups around. Now this is the upper deck level of the ship. Here you have the four deluxe suites along with the observation deck. This is the picture of one of the deluxe suites. That it's important also to mention that those deluxe suites comes with balcony. This is one of the outdoors areas of the ship where you can see al fresco bar lounge. Here at the fresco bar lounge, our guests can take pictures from the river as well as the Amazon rainforest. This is the observation deck, located also in the upper deck of the ship. Which is interesting about this area is that it's surrounded by panoramic windows where guests can appreciate as well the river and the Amazon from another standpoint of view. We keep going with the social areas. This is part of the resting area. As you can see, is provided with modern sofas. And this is another view for the resting area of the ship. This is one of the exterior part of the ship, and in front of you you can see a similar boat that provides similar service as well in the Amazon jungle. Now those are the stairs that will take you to the last level of the ship, which is called the sun deck. At the sun deck you will find 2 outside jacuzzis and lazy chairs. This area is particularly special for guests in order to take some sunshine and get some tan. Now I will pass the word again to my colleague Santiago, and he will let you know about the itineraries available on the ship and the things that you can do on each one. So let's welcome again Santiago.
Well, thank you, Francisco. So I will keep talking about the itineraries that we can do at the Anaconda Amazon cruise. So we have a 4-day, 3-night itinerary that goes from Sunday to Wednesday. So in day number 1, you will arrive to Coca and you're going to be transferred to Anaconda riverboat by motorized canoe. So we will be downstreaming the river in the afternoon. So in the evening you will have an optional nocturnal walk. Day number 2, you will visit the Pañacocha Biological Corridor. This is a full day out with barbecue lunch with optional activities like walking, swimming, and fishing. In day number 3, you will visit to Kuru, Muyu, and Clay Lakes at the Yasuni National Park, and also you will be visiting Yaku Kausai, a water museum. So in day number 4, you will be transferred to Coca again to board your return flight. Here's a sample of a 5-day, 4-night cruise that goes from Wednesday to Sunday. So in day number 1, you will as well arrive to Coca, and you're going to be transferred to the Anaconda Amazon cruise by a motorized canoe. The navigation is downstream in the river in the afternoon, and in the night you will have the nocturnal walk. In day number 2, you will visit a native home to learn about their everyday activities, and also you will be able to know about dolphins and more at the Cuyabeno Wildlife Reserve. In day number 3, you will explore a beautiful island with wild monkeys, and also you will be able to observe a flooded forest. In day number 4, you will visit the Curumuyo and Clay Lakes at the Yasuni National Park and also the Limoncocha Biological Reserve. And in day number 5, you will be transferred to Coca in order to get your return flight. So this is another sample of a 8-day, 7-night cruise itinerary that goes from Sunday to Sunday. So in day number 1, you will arrive to Coca and you're going to be transferred to Anaconda by a motorized canoe, obviously downstream in the river in the afternoon, and then you get the option of the evening nocturnal walk. In day number 2, you will visit the Pañacocha Biological Corridor. This is a full day out with barbecue lunch, with activities like walking, swimming, and fishing. In day number 3, you will visit Whitewater River at the Yasuni National Park and the Yaku Kausai Water Museum. In day number 4, you will visit a butterfly house, a study project and a local community. And in day number 5, you will visit a native home to learn about their everyday activities. In day number 6, you will explore this beautiful island with wild monkeys, and you will be able to see a flooded forest. In day number 7, you will visit the Curumuyo and Clay Lakes at the Yasuni National Park, and you will visit as well the Limoncocha Biological Reserve. In day number 8, you will be transferred to Coca to board your return flight. So this is how the Amazon rainforest looks like, and I will tell you that we get pictures from Yasuni National Park, Cuyabeno National Park, Limoncocha Wildlife Reserve, and the Pañacocha Lagoon. So these are the places that you're going to visit with these itineraries. As well, we get a picture from the observation tower where you can do the activity called bird watching. So I'm going to talk about this activity called glamping. Glamping is an activity really compared to camping in the Amazon jungle, but in a luxury way. So in these glamping activities, you will be stargazing, you will learn about natural medicine, you will have ancestral indigenous encounters, and you will be doing jungle trekking. As well, you will do some jungle hikes, and then you can kayak there. So you will be using some kayaks to visit the reserves. You will be visiting also the communities to learn about their ancestral activities. And also, as I told you before, you will be doing bird watching. So we got a lot of observation towers in the Amazon region. And on board, we got more activities for passengers' entertainment. So we would like to expand talking about the fauna of the region because it's really interesting to know that in the Amazon region we got a lot of birds and animals that are really nice. But now I'm going to let Marcel Perkins, that is the general manager for LatinTrails, to talk about the extension program to Galapagos Islands. So welcome, Marcel, to this webinar.
Hi, Santiago. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this webinar today. I hope everybody enjoyed learning about the Anaconda. It seems like a really exciting cruise. We've been lucky enough to see the boat. It's beautiful. We did part of the itinerary. Fortunately, I have been on the itinerary before. Just to add a little bit, it's the main difference between, you know, going on the Anaconda and staying at an Amazon lodge for everyone who hasn't been to the Amazon before is that you don't have to be in the bush. So you're on the river with a little bit less mosquitoes and the comfort of a five-star boat with great cuisine on board and many other additional perks, like going from one natural reserve to another. While at a lodge, you're located at just one location only. They're both great experiences, and there's I would say I wouldn't put one on top of the other, but they're for different target passengers, and I'm sure you can actually find out what your passengers want for that. Now, I'm going to talk about the Galapagos Islands. Well, LatinTrails is a company that is very well experienced in the Galapagos Islands. In the Galapagos, we operate 3 boutique yachts. But before I talk about our boats, I want to just add a little bit about the experience in the Galapagos. The Galapagos Islands are located 1.5 hours from mainland Ecuador. It's a quick flight from Guayaquil. And what brings people to the Galapagos Islands? And why is it a great extension to the Amazon cruise or any trip in the Amazon rainforest? Well, in the Amazon, you're surrounded by the canopy, the forest, but wildlife is a little bit secret, so you really don't get to see the animals up close sometimes. If you're lucky, you will get a chance to see the monkeys, but in the Galapagos, on the other hand, animals are not afraid of humans and they do not hide. They're out in the open, and it allows for close wildlife encounters. What's magical about the Galapagos is walking on the trails, swimming with sea lions. As you do sea kayaking or snorkeling, you get to see sea turtles, manta rays, and it's a destination for all ages, a very interactive, very active destination. We wake up early in the morning for some hiking on the beaches, some snorkeling, and then we go on to the trails and explore the different nesting sites of the blue-footed booby and different wildlife species. On the shore excursions, we're always in company of a naturalist guide, and he'll explain the details of everything we find throughout the islands and make sure we abide, of course, to the rules of the Galapagos National Park, because this is a place that we want to preserve. Therefore, our guides have the main task to make sure everybody follows the rules of the Galapagos National Park. Here we have the view of Prince Philip Steps on Genovesa Island, one of many locations we visit, and this is the western side of the Galapagos where we see armies of marine iguanas. And as many might, for those that haven't been to the Galapagos, we are fortunate enough to say that they're vegetarian and they feed on algae. So our passengers are in no danger at all. The western side of the Galapagos is this particular picture is actually of Fernandina Island, one of the locations we visit in Galapagos at Punta Espinosa, one of the most pristine islands in the world. It's still actually an active volcano. So we don't only get to see the wildlife, but the scenery and interact with it. Here are some really friendly sea lions. And this is how close actually the wildlife encounters are with the animals in the Galapagos. This is a very intimate experience with wildlife. We offer the small cruise experience in the Galapagos on board small yachts, allowing our travelers to have an intimate experience with wildlife. This is the Galapagos. Again, it's not a zoo. It's nature at its purest. Here we have a passenger that was actually tying their shoe, and the baby sea lion pup came up to them to give a kiss. I am sure that there's many of you that would love to have this type of experience. Here we have a frigate bird, one of the important bird life species in the Galapagos, and it's known as a pirate bird. The frigate bird, actually right here, it's inflating its pouch. This is a male that's attracting the female during the mating season. But normally the frigate bird is famous for being a pirate. It steals the food from other birds. So you'll see a frigate bird diving right after a pelican, trying to run into it, or fly into it actually, and knock the food out of its mouth. That's one of the experiences in the Galapagos. And here it's actually attracting its mate at the nest. Here's a Galapagos hawk, one of the main predators in the Galapagos. This is actually at the bay around Bartolome as the travelers are starting to climb to the top of this iconic view site. And as you can see here, wildlife in the Galapagos is not afraid of humans, and it allows for some picture time as well. And of course, the snorkeling experience is allowed to snorkel with white tip reef sharks. These sharks are quite tame, as well as the sea lions, who are very playful. As you snorkel, they'll be actually pulling at the fin of your at your fins while you're snorkeling, or they'll swim around you. The sea lions, they're great company as you swim in the Galapagos waters. Other encounters underwater are manta rays, sea turtles, as I mentioned before, and this is a great experience for all ages. If we go on to the next slide, we have a close encounter with one of our sea lion friends. Other unique encounters that you might have underwater in the Galapagos, well, of course, apart from many species of fish and exploring the underwater reef, are Galapagos penguins. You know, that's one thing, you know, finding a Galapagos penguin is almost like seeing a polar bear on a tree. If we go back to the past slide, please, Santiago. No, the one of the sun deck, because we're going to start talking about our boats in the Galapagos. We have, as I mentioned, we have 3 boutique yachts that we operate with in the Galapagos Islands. One of them is a catamaran. It's the Galapagos Seaman Journey. One of the main characteristics about our yachts in the Galapagos is that they all have ocean view cabins with windows that can actually be open, and you can allow fresh air into the cabins on all 3 yachts that we operate. The Seaman Journey, being a catamaran, is also offers a net at the front of the boat where actually you could lie down and watch the dolphins as they swim below the bow of the boat during sailings. The next slide is about our sun deck. If we could just pass on the slide. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Santiago. The sun deck, actually we've added day beds to this boat, and we have it's a great area to relax under both the sun and the shade. We can have a cocktail here. We also have non-alcohol drinks and as cocktails as well, from the exotic fruit juices that can be obtained from Ecuadorian fruit. And this is one of the most popular areas on the boat because as you sail through the Galapagos, it's not just the excursions on the islands where you're walking among bird nests and, you know, exploring the different trails or snorkeling. As you sail, we also have the company of dolphins, orcas, and whales. So this is a great observation platform as well. The Seaman Journey particularly, we have outside and inside dining. Here's one of the cabins. This is a matrimonial cabin on the upper deck. It's considered as a suite. It has queen-size beds and private facilities, as well as on our other boats. And it's decorated in a very aspirational way with a lot of light, and it's a very comfortable boat for 16 passengers only. So it gives a very private opportunity. Here we have our itineraries, and if we look at the itinerary that's painted in red, this is our 4-day itinerary. Now, on the Seaman Journey, we have 3-night, 4 days, 4 nights, 5 days, and 7-night, 8-day itineraries, which can be combined to be 10 nights, 11 nights, and up to 14 nights, as if we covered all the islands. Now, none of these itineraries overlap on island visits, so you could actually do a 14-night cruise without repeating any islands. I'm just going to go over really quickly over the 3-night itinerary. It visits the northern part of the Galapagos archipelago, including the island of Genovesa, where we have the famous red-footed booby, and it starts and ends on Santa Cruz Island. The next itinerary is highlighted in green, which is a 4-night itinerary, 4 nights, 5 days, and it goes to the southern part of the islands, including visits to San Cristobal, where actually it starts, Española, Floriana, and Santa Cruz Island. Finally, we have a full 8-day itinerary that goes around the western side of the archipelago, visiting Isabela and Fernandina Islands, as well as Santiago, Rábida, Bartolomé, and all the central part of the islands as well. Each itinerary has its own highlights. It really would depend on how much time your travelers have, what other destinations they're combining as part of their Galapagos trip, to choose one itinerary or another. The next slide is going to be a boutique yacht. It's our top yacht in our fleet, one of the most comfortable vessels in the Galapagos Islands, and our newest boat. This one was built actually in 2011. but it just went out to dry dock. That's one thing. Every year we do a short maintenance, and every 2 years we do a full dry dock where we strip the whole boat down and bring it out as new. All cabins are above the waterline and they have ocean views. We'll look at the sun deck in the next picture. And one of the main features has a jacuzzi, and it has day beds as well. This is a great area. As you saw on all the boats that LatinTrails operates, the Seaman Journey, as well as the Anaconda, we do put a lot of emphasis on outside areas because our boats are not just, it's not like on a large, it's not just a regular cruise. This is an expedition cruise where your boat is an observation platform. So we saw that on the Anaconda as well. It's a great place to observe the wildlife that is around. In the canopy of the forest here in the Galapagos, we get a panoramic view from our moving observation platform, which is a comfortable sun deck with day beds and a jacuzzi where we can actually have a 360-degree view of the islands that are surrounding us. And if we're lucky, we'll have frigate birds perching on the veranda, or we'll be able to be whale watching as we sail between one island and another. We can move on. We'll see the cabin in the next slide. All our cabins have king-size beds. They can be converted to twins. We have connecting cabins for families. All cabins have private facilities. They're air-conditioned, and they have ocean views. This is one of the most comfortable yachts in the Galapagos Islands. And as you can see, the cabins have wooden flooring, no rugs. It's a very clean ambience, and it's very fresh as well. The first itinerary is going to talk about is highlighted in green, and this is a 4-night, 5-day itinerary. This is the shortest itinerary we have. It visits the central part of the islands, including Santiago, Bartolome, and Genovesa Islands, ending at North Seymour, which is a great bird watching site. From here, then we follow on with the 5-night, 6-day itinerary, which heads on towards the southern part of the islands, including visits to Floriana, Hispaniola, and San Cristobal Island. This itinerary includes the iconic Hispaniola Island where you find the Wave Albatros, but all our itineraries have their highlights. This is a great opportunity to visit the islands on a 6-day program. Finally, we have our 6-day itinerary that goes around the western side of the islands, visiting Fernandina and Isabela. Fernandina, if you recall, it's where we saw the large army of marine iguanas, but also in this particular side of the archipelago, on the western side of the islands, we have Galapagos penguins and fleckless cormorants as unique opportunities there. And we finally come back through Santiago Island and end on San Cristobal. 1 4-night program and 2 5-night programs. These can be combined into 9 nights, 10 nights, and up to 14 nights without repeating any of the islands. But most of our travelers do take a 4-night or a 5-night cruise. And I hope you, as part of our expeditions, you can join us on a combination of the Anaconda and our Galapagos programs. We're also going to just give a quick briefing about our Peru programs. So LatinTrails has offices in Cusco and Arequipa, as well as in Lima. We have our own Peruvian operation. And I'm going to pass on the conversation to my colleague, Nicole. She's our Peru expert at LatinTrails, and you'll be hearing from her soon during the follow-up as well. But she's going to join us in our webinar today. Thank you very much. Nicole, I pass this on to you.
Thank you very much, Marcel. Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I am the sales representative of LatinTrails Peru. I would like to explain you the extensions that we offer in Peru. First of all, if you are leaving the Amazon in Ecuador, you can fly from Quito to Lima. And if you are leaving the Galapagos Islands, you can fly from Guayaquil to Lima. Both flights will take about 1.5 hours. Because we already arranged the trip in Ecuador for you, we can maintain the same quality of the trip in Peru. So that means the same standard of hotels, transport and guides. This is definitely very comfortable for you as a client because we maintain to accomplish your expectations. When you arrive in Lima, a representative will welcome you at the airport and take you to the hotel. Lima is the capital of Peru and well known for the architecture and the delicious food. In the night you can explore it yourself and go for dinner at one of the restaurants in town. The next day you will be picked up at your hotel for a transfer to the airport. You will have a flight from Lima to Cusco, and upon arrival in Cusco a representative will be waiting for you and bring you to the hotel. The rest of the morning you have free time to spend in Cusco. Because the city is at an altitude of more than 3,000 meters, this gives you the opportunity to acclimatize and to get used to the altitude. In the afternoon, a guide will pick you up at your hotel and you can enjoy a city tour in Cusco. This tour also includes a visit to Tambo Machai, an Inca religious site, and Cuenco, a labyrinth of staircases and channels. You continue to the Inca fortress of Sacsayhuaman, and from here you have a marvelous panoramic view of Cusco. At the end you will visit the Plaza de Armas and the Coricancha complex. From Cusco you start your trip to the famous Inca city Machu Picchu. But before you reach the famous Lost City of the Incas, you are first going to visit the Secret Valley. This is a really magical place and, as its name suggests, a winding trail of lush, green slopes lining the Urubamba River. Discover everything from colorful markets to fascinating architectural remains. You travel to Pisac. This is well known for its huge colorful market. On your way you will stop at the Awana Canche Center, where all 4 Peruvian camelids, the llamas, alpacas, guanacos, and vicuñas, lace in the fields. Weavers from southern Peru exhibit textiles that are spun, dyed and woven using traditional natural products and techniques. This is a really fascinating place and also has a shop where you can buy a lot of top quality crafts. When you arrive at Pisac, you can shop a lot of souvenirs if you want, like ceramic jewelry, textiles and other Peruvian artifacts. Afterwards you explore the ruins of Pisac, where you will have stunning views over the valley. In the afternoon you continue to the town of Ollantaytambo, one of the oldest continuously occupied settlements in the Americas. You can climb the steep stone steps up to the imposing fortress at the top of the mountain, and here you will have breathtaking views down the valley. And you can admire the huge monoliths that form the Temple of the Sun. You will spend the night in one of the hotels in the Secret Valley. The next day in the morning you will be transferred to the train station of Ollantaytambo in order to take the train. After a journey with majestic views you will arrive at Aguascalientes, also known as the hot springs town, and here you will spend the night. At the train station there will be again waiting a representative for you to bring you to your hotel. The rest of the day you have plenty of time to relax and to have a hot bath in the natural springs or just to have a walk around in the town. Early in the morning, around 6 a.m., your guide will go with you on the first bus up to Machu Picchu. It is 30 minutes by bus, and once you arrived in Machu Picchu, the guide will give you a guided tour of approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes. You are visiting the Inca terraces, the agricultural sector, the urban sector, and many more. Afterwards, you will be able to have plenty of time to explore this mystery city by yourself. You can walk up to the Sun Gate, and that will be around 45 minutes, the Inca Bridge, that will take 40 minutes, or the Huayna Picchu Mountain. And the last one, the Huayna Picchu Mountain, is about 2 hours. You have to keep in mind that it's not walking, but it's really steep sometimes, so that you have to climb some parts. Also, you have to make sure that you've booked it in advance, because they only allow a certain amount of people to enter the Huayna Picchu each day, so you have to buy an extra ticket for it. But as you can see in the picture, it's really worth it because you have a magnificent view at the Machu Picchu. In the late afternoon, you will take the bus down to Aguascalientes in order to catch the train back to Cusco. When you arrive in Cusco, a representative will pick you up and take you to your hotel. The next day you will have a transfer to the airport and you will fly from Cusco to Lima, and there you will have your international flight back home. Of course, this is an example of a 6-day extension, but Peru has a lot more to offer than only Cusco and Machu Picchu. Think about, for example, Lake Titicaca, the Colca Canyon, and the Nazca Lines. If you would like to have more information about the different extensions and the trips in Peru, it will be a pleasure to assist you. Thank you very much for your attention and participation in this webinar, and I will now pass on the word again to my colleague Santiago.
Well, thank you, Nicole, for your lovely presentation about Peru. So as you know, we get extensions to Galapagos and Peru once you are in Ecuador. So please, Lee, well, we want to welcome you again to make some questions about this webinar that we have made. So I don't know if you are going to do the online questions on the, please proceed to do that, Lee.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all so much. That was just such a wonderful presentation. Javier has answered quite a few questions, but I would encourage anyone who thinks of something that you would like to ask. We have an open time now that I can read these questions. And so let me start with this question. It's about the Peru extension. And there's a question about what the minimum and maximum number of guests would be on the Peru extension. So that's probably a question for maybe Nicole or perhaps Santiago?
Yes, it's better because, well, Nicole just went to the toilet, sorry.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, sure, yeah. So we're just wondering, what is the minimum and maximum number of guests that you can handle on the Peru extension?
Well, we can do different extensions, like we can do it for individuals, but we also can do it for groups. So that depends on what you want, but we don't have like a minimum or maximum that we can handle right now. So if you have a group that you would like to have visit to Peru, just let me know and I can see what I can do for you.
Okay. And we've got other Peru questions, so I'm going to keep you there with me. There's a question about Machu Picchu and whether it can handle handicap pass guests.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part you asked me. Can you repeat it again?
Sure. Can people with mobility challenges, maybe a wheelchair, can they visit Machu Picchu?
Well, to be honest, that will be difficult because if you are having the guided tour in Machu Picchu, you also have to climb some parts. So it's not really easy to walk around. And if you have a wheelchair, then it will be a little bit difficult to visit it. Of course, you can visit it, but then you have to keep in mind that you have to do it like a private tour, and then you're not going to be able to attend in a group, and that you will have a really guided tour around in Machu Picchu.
Okay, thank you. And Nicole, one more question for you about Peru. Do you offer Peru extensions to the northern kingdoms?
Yes, as well. We can offer different extensions. This was just an example that I described of what we can offer. Of course, I named also like the Nazca Lines, the Colca Canyon, and the Lake Titicaca, but we can also offer other extensions. If you want to have a specific itinerary, just write me a mail and then I can let you know.
All right, very good. So I think that we've just got a couple more questions here, so I'm going to do one last call for questions and then we will wrap it up. We just had this question come in, Santiago, and this might even be a question for Marcel. The question is, are these companies that you've talked about today all under the same ownership, and how can they all be booked?
Well, I'm going to answer that question. So these three luxury and first class yachts that we manage belong to LatinTrails, and we represent the Anaconda as well. So you have to contact us for any inquiry that you need. We will be booking your program. So please email to marketing@LatinTrails.com or call us on Skype to Ecuador Boutique Travel.
Okay, so basically all of this can be booked through the one phone number and the one website that we've got up on the screen right now.
Yeah, we got the direct booking for you at the 4 yachts and boats that we are offering today. So
okay.
Please proceed to do that to just send us an email about your requirements, and then we will be pleased to answer.
All right. And then another question about the Anaconda. There's a question about how long the company has been in business.
Well, in fact, there was a slide with another boat called Manatee that it's been for a while in the Amazon rainforest. But the Anaconda is a brand new riverboat, similar to Manatee. Manatee, it has been more than 10 years sailing the Amazon rainforest in Ecuador. And the new one is the Anaconda riverboat. So they are similar boats, but the Anaconda it's more sophisticated and it's guided into a luxury type of tourism. But yes, brand new. As well, we represent these two boats. We're not the owners, but we represent them. So please consider this option through LatinTrails to make bookings to the Anaconda or another riverboat that it's been sailing the Ecuadorian waters.
Okay, great. Thank you, Santiago. We have another question about Peru.
Please. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And the question was about the range of accommodations. Do you have different various levels of accommodations from, say, standard to luxury?
Yes, we have. We offer accommodations like standard, comfort, luxury, and also deluxe. So that means that you have all the luxury and also with all the private guides that you need.
All right. Thank you. And it looks like we'll make this our last question, Santiago, and then I'll turn it back over to you. There's a question here about whether you ever offer any travel agent trips or special travel agent rates.
Yes, of course. Usually we can talk about this by email as well. But yes, we offer special travel agents offers to our B-sales and obviously to the Amazon programs. So yes, we definitely do that.
Good, very good. All right, well, thank you so much for this presentation. It was lovely and lots of good interest out there. Santiago, I am going to turn it back over to you and your team now for anything else you might want to share before we go.
Yeah, well, just to remind you to send us an email, and we will be pleased to answer any of your inquiries. We know that you have a lot of questions, and we are here to answer to that questions and to assist you in every matter related to tours in Ecuador and extensions to Galapagos Islands and Ecuador. So thank you very much, Lee, for this presentation. It was really nice, and thanks for your time and for your help.
All right, great. Well, my pleasure, and we will get the replay out to everyone so that you can catch anything you might have missed. And we thank you all for your time, and with that, we will say good day and conclude our webinar. Goodbye, everybody.